You know, there's a point in every leader's career when your success, the success you know you've earned, gets questioned. It's usually a quiet moment, something you didn't see coming, but it can set the tone for your professional drive for years. It's that moment that reveals a tough reality. Our performance isn't always enough to define how we're perceived. Okay, let's get into it.
For me, this was the exact comment I overheard after finishing in the top 5 of my elementary school class. Just one sentence from the crowd that completely changed what that moment of achievement meant. What should have been a simple moment of validation, well, it became a catalyst. It created this deep-seated need to not just perform, but to prove the performance was real, that the merit was earned. And that one comment, it really did set a pattern that would last for years.
So, the important thing here isn't the childhood story itself. It's about the origin of a professional dynamic that I think many of us face. It's that drive that gets ignited when your capabilities are questioned, whether someone says it out loud or not. It's like an internal engine that kicks on when the way people see you doesn't match up with your own sense of effort. And it forces a decision, right? You either accept their narrative or you get to work rewriting it. So, how did this play out? Well, that promise I made to myself to prove my merit was tested almost right away. I got to high school, was placed in the top section, and then one single exam got me demoted, a clear failure. But the response? It wasn't emotional, it was strategic. I found a peer, Cecile, who was in the exact same boat, and we formed an alliance. We made a quiet promise to each other. We're getting back into that top section. And through disciplined, focused work, that's exactly what happened. We re-earned our spots by the end of the year.
But the crucial piece here isn't just what we did on the outside. It's the internal pressure that was fueling it all. That demotion wasn't just a simple setback. For me, it triggered this deep sense of inadequacy, which was only made worse by the fact that both of my sisters were valedictorians. That quiet, internal question of my own ability, that was the real motivator. It's a perfect example of how a feeling of failure can actually be turned into strategic fuel. Looking back on all this, it really boils down to 3 patterns that I think form the bedrock of a professional identity. First, how early responsibility really does shape your adult performance. Being trusted by teachers with small tasks, it builds this sense of quiet reliability. Second, how comparison is a silent killer of confidence, and it creates that need for external proof. And third, and this one is so critical for any leader, our strengths are often seen by others long before we see them in ourselves. These aren't just childhood lessons, they're the raw materials of our executive strength.
This entire experience is really a textbook illustration of what I call the pawn stage in the Pawn to Queen framework. The framework is just a way to map the different stages of a leader's journey. And the pawn stage, as you can see here, is that foundational period. It's where our professional identity gets forged, built on resilience, those early responsibilities, and a powerful drive that's often shaped by those very first insecurities. It's the foundation that all of our future strategic moves are built on.
So the patterns that define our leadership often have roots in experiences we filed away and maybe haven't thought about for a long time. That brings me to my final point. I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What early responsibility, maybe one you haven't considered in years, fundamentally shaped how you carry pressure and show up as a leader today?